What's going on, booktube? It's been a while. I know I have been MIA for a good little while, but we are back in September, and that is another great month for reading. And so here we are. We're going to talk about the books that I hope to finish in September, and then kind of some of the books that I am hopeful to be finishing at least by the end of the year. At least they're going to be on my radar for the coming months, and let's just get into it. The first book is kind of a cheat code, but it is already halfway into September, so I have already finished it. That book is The Chain by Adrian McKenty. This book was super good. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars though. The beginning half of the book I feel like was the strong point, and then towards the second half of the book I feel like is where it fell off a little bit. If you haven't heard of this book or anything about it, the gist is that your kid is kidnapped, and in order to get them back, you have to kidnap a kid from another family to replace yours and complete, aka the chain, the title word. It's pretty good though. 3 out of 5 stars for me. Um, I think you should check it out if that seems like your thing. It's more of a thriller book. Second book though that I am currently in the middle of, I'm about halfway into it right now, and that is Fourth Wing. This book has been out for a good minute now. I think there's 3 books out in the series currently, and it's been sitting on my shelves literally since like it came out, and I just now started it this month, like maybe a week or so ago, and I'm liking it so far. I am. I know it's considered a romantasy somewhat, but so far I haven't gotten to any of that, and I honestly quite enjoy that. I'm enjoying the fantasy aspect of the book really well right now, and so I'm excited to see where it goes. I want to see how the plot progresses, see what happens, and then by the end of it, we'll see if I want to continue the series. Right now, I do enjoy it, but we'll see what my thoughts are by the end of it. The third book that I hope to finish in September is right here, Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I know you see that little bookmark. I'm like 30 pages into it so far. I started it like at the beginning of this month, maybe the end of last month, and I'm only like 30 pages into it. I do want to read it. It's just I read Way of Kings was the last book I read by Brandon Sanderson, and having to start a new book with new characters, new plot, new everything, it just kind of threw me off a little bit. Not in a bad way. It's just I was so into the story of Kaladin, Jasna, Shallan, all of them, and so diving into this just kind of got me off my momentum. I am going to read it. That's why I want to finish it by the end of this month. That way I can just dive on into Words of Radiance sometime by the end of the year, hopefully. Um, the fifth book came out last year, and I feel so far behind. The next book and last book that I am hopeful that I will finish by the end of this month is Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. If you have never heard of this author or this book series at all, it inspired the movies The Da Vinci Code, and I don't know if there are other movies based on the book series because I haven't even seen The Da Vinci Code. Say whatever you will, but I honestly didn't even know that there was a book series based off the movies until I got these books in a huge book thrift haul a while back, and ever since then I've been excited to get into them, and so hopefully this month, this right here, will be the start. And now we're just going to talk about some of the books that I hope to get to in the next 3 months, not including this one, for the end of the year. I don't think I'll be finishing the series, but I at least want to read the first book in them and kind of get a head start on them. I have the full series of this one on my shelf, the first trilogy, and that is the Farser trilogy by Robin Hobb. I've heard so many good things about her. Like the entire realm of the Elderlings is like 15 books or so, but I have the first trilogy, the Farser trilogy, on my shelves, and I've been wanting to read that ever since I got it. I got it in the same thrift haul that I got the Angels and Demons book in the Da Vinci Code series, and I can't wait to get into it. And you can't read the words, but I have Babel by R.F. Kuang and The Sword of Kaigen by Emma Wong right behind me as well. And I really need to read those. I've had those on my shelves for a good while also. They're both standalones, so there's literally no reason for me not to. Even if I'm in the middle of a series, they're standalones. I can just read them to break up a series. I need to get into them. And a little while back, I got into sort of a classic kind of vibe. And so I went out and I bought some classic books. And then for some reason, that was literally at the start of my reading slump, which lasted until like this month when I started making book content again. And so the two books that I do want to read from that as well is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas and East of Eden by John Steinbeck are two of the big ones that I have that I really want to read. Like, I bought them because I had heard non-stop things about how they were some of the best classics to date. And so I went out, I snagged them, and then I just never got around to actually getting into them. As large as the Count of Monte Cristo is, I've heard that it is very accessible and easy to read, and that it is just such a good revenge story, and is the inspiration for a lot of books to this day. And so I do want to eventually get into that. Hopefully, I can at least start it by the end of the year. It is a big chunker though, so even if I don't finish it, I do hope that I will be able to get a start into it. Another two series that I want to read, both of these are actually by the same author, John Gwynne. I would love to read the Bloodsworn Saga by him, as well as the Faithful and the Fallen series. I've heard both of those are so good, and they both seem like something I would like, just classic fantasy. I think one of them has to do with like Vikings or something. I've just heard that there's a lot of action that's going on there, and I feel like I would absolutely love that. Another book that I really need to get to, and will honestly probably be on my list for October, is The Will of the Many by James Islington. And that is because the second book in that series, The Strength of the Few, is coming out in November. And so I need to get on that ASAP. I would love to be able to read that, go get it on release date if that's possible. And I've heard that that is many people's top five books of all time, even maybe their favorite book of all time. I've just heard that it is written so well. And very recently, within the past couple of weeks, I finally seen someone kind of give the gist of what it's about. I avoid a lot of books that I haven't read due to spoilers because they can come out of nowhere. But I seen someone talk about the actual like gist of the story and like a basis for the plot, and it actually sounded really good. It was a lot more into what I feel like I would like than what I thought it would be, just based off the title. I know I shouldn't think about books based only on their title, but from just hearing them talk about it and what it was kind of about, I feel like it would also be something that was at the top of my ratings. And the last books that I'm going to mention on this list today is Iron Gold, Dark Age, and Lightbringer, the fourth, fifth, and sixth books in the Red Rising series. I've read the first three. I absolutely loved them. And so, since the first trilogy and then the second group of three books are kind of different trilogies just in one series, if that makes sense, I gave it a break there. And so I haven't continued on after the third book. I've been just focusing on other books. But Red God is coming out, I believe, next year, July or something like that. And so even if I don't read them by the end of this year, they are just kind of on my mind. I want to get them read. That way I can also read Red God as it releases. That way I can avoid all spoilers because I know that I will be seeing that book all over the place. But yeah, if you have any other suggestions based off the books that I've listed, that obviously isn't all of them, but I want to keep myself a little more focused because if I start trying to read 35 different books by the end of the year, none of them are going to get read. And so I'm going to keep it a little focused and try and stay on track with what books to read. I try and base my reading off if there's a series and another book that's coming out in it. I try and prioritize that. That way I can read the new release uh, right away. But otherwise, yeah, let me know what you think about the list, and I appreciate you for watching.